Jamie Dornan returns to Hollywood in an unexpected role. It's a February morning, the Pacific Ocean's dim light streaming through the windows. Jamie Dornan sits in his modest Malibu cabin, a cup of black coffee in front of him and a script that's more than 200 pages thick. He doesn't say anything for 10 minutes. He just flips through the pages, marks a few passages in red marker, then puts it down and sighs. "I didn't think I'd be back in Hollywood like this," he says, half to himself, half to us, the special group of reporters who were granted a private interview that little-known morning. Beside him is a whiteboard with the words, "The Glass Empire," scrawled on it, not the name of the film he's starring in. It's the first film he's directed and produced, a mysterious project that even Universal Studios only admits is in closed development. Point 2. When an icon decides to break the line, to audiences around the world, Jamie Dornan remains the face of Christian Grey, the sexy and powerful character in 50 Shades of Grey. The 3 films brought him fame and fortune, but also tied him to the image of the perfect man, an image he himself once said was both an honor and an obsession. After the final film in 2018, he all but disappeared from the commercial film scene. He chose small roles, sometimes lasting just a few minutes, from independent films in Europe to little-known Irish TV projects. It was like he was hiding from himself, a close friend in the industry recounted. Every time a big offer came along, Jamie turned it down. He said, "I don't want to be someone else's version of myself." In 2022, when rumors of him starring in a Netflix project spread, many thought he was returning to acting. Instead, he appeared behind the scenes, as co-director of a short film called The Hummingbird Room. The film was only 40 minutes long, not heavily promoted, but when it premiered at the Venice Film Festival, it received a 6-minute standing ovation. That's when Hollywood started buzzing. Jamie Dornan, the silver screen lover of millions, was really becoming a director. 3. I'm tired of just being a face. We asked him why he chose to direct, when his acting career was still going well. He chuckled, "Because I've acted so much and never said what I think." He said that during his 15 years in the profession, there were dozens of times he wanted to change the lines, wanted to do something different, but was rejected because the script was approved. "People always say, 'You are an actor, read the lines correctly.' But when you stand in front of the camera, you feel the fakeness. And I don't want to live in that forever." Jamie started writing his first script in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. It was a time when he was stuck at home with his wife and 3 children. There was no film, no red carpet. "It was just me, my laptop and long sleepless nights," he said. From the fragmented pages, the story of The Glass Empire, a detective political tech film, about a tycoon who builds a virtual media corporation, but he himself is trapped in a world of his own creation. "Some people might say I am using a metaphor for Hollywood itself," he shrugged, "and they are right." Point 4. The silence before the media storm. The strange thing is that during the 2 years of preparation, almost no newspapers knew about The Glass Empire. There were no casting announcements, no behind-the-scenes photos, not a single press release. A source at Universal said that this project is not following the conventional production model. Jamie self-funded 60% of the budget, the rest came from 2 anonymous investors in Northern Europe, people who believed in his artistic vision. He also decided not to hire famous actors, instead choosing all new faces, people who had never walked the red carpet. "I want the audience to see the character, not the star," he said. "I was once the person who the audience couldn't see through the halo. I know that feeling." Point 5. A strange film crew in Iceland. In September 2023, a small film crew of 47 people quietly arrived in Iceland. No one knew what they were doing. In the coastal town of Vic E. Myrtle, they rented an entire abandoned warehouse and set it up as a studio. Outside, the wind howled. Inside, Jamie Dornan sat behind a monitor, wearing a grey woolly hat, biting a pen, directing every shot. A lighting engineer said, "He wasn't like a Hollywood director. He didn't shout, he didn't hold a megaphone. He just sat there, observing. But everyone listened to him, not out of fear, but because you could feel his absolute focus." An interesting detail: Jamie turned off all phones on set. No signal, no social media, no paparazzi. He called it the silence rule. Every 5 minutes someone posted a photo on Instagram. The film died, he said. After 3 months of shooting in harsh conditions, ice, snow, sea breeze, no electricity, the crew completed the Glass Empire. When filming the final scene, no one on the crew said anything. There was only the sound of the ocean waves and sighs of relief. 6. The edit room incident. In January 2024, as Jamie began post-production in London, a strange incident occurred. The hard drive containing the original was severely damaged after the editing room lost power. "We lost almost all of the footage," he says. But the strange thing was that only the final scenes were corrupted, the ones where the main character confronts his double. Jamie doesn't believe in coincidences. He thinks someone deliberately interfered, because the project had refused to cooperate with a major media group that wanted to buy the distribution rights. An anonymous technician said that, 2 days before the incident, a stranger came to the studio, claiming to be the company's data security representative. The person was never found again. 7. I learned to keep secrets. After the incident, Jamie hired a private cybersecurity team to protect the film's data. He doesn't store it in the cloud either. It's all on physical tape, kept in a private safe. "I learned from the past that Hollywood can take anything if you don't protect it," he says. When we asked him, "What do you mean?" he just laughed. "There are things you shouldn't say before the movie comes out." 8. The shocking trailer. In June 2025, the first trailer for The Glass Empire suddenly appeared online. No studio logo, no voiceover. Just heavy breathing, a man standing in front of a mirror, and then the screen cracking like glass. Within 24 hours, the clip had 20 million views. People speculated it was an Apple campaign, a Netflix campaign, or a sequel to Inception. No one thought Jamie Dornan was the director, until he confirmed it in a short interview with Variety. "Yes, it's my film. And no one knows what it's really about." The statement caused a social media explosion. 9. Hollywood is divided. When the project was officially announced, Hollywood was divided. One side praised Jamie's courage, breaking the handsome star mold to make real art. The other criticized him for playing auteur just to be taken seriously, an anonymous critic wrote in the Hollywood Observer. "If The Glass Empire fails, it will be the end of Dornan as an artist. But if it succeeds, he will become the pioneer of a new wave of actor-directors." Jamie did not respond. He spent most of his time in the editing room, editing each frame. 10. Secret Dublin premiere. In September 2025, Jamie held a secret preview in an old Dublin cinema, inviting only 40 people, including friends, colleagues and a few selected journalists. The film lasted 2 hours and 18 minutes. No one spoke for the first 10 minutes. In the middle, when the protagonist realized he was being monitored by a system he had built, the whole audience held their breath. At the end of the film, the lights went up, there was no applause, just absolute silence. Then one person started to stand up, then a second, and finally the whole theater. A veteran critic told us later, "It's not just a film. It's a confession of a generation of artists." .11 The Glass Empire, a symbol of a new era. 2 weeks later, the Glass Empire was sold for worldwide distribution. No one knows the price tag, but rumors say it was over $100 million, a record for an independent film. The film officially debuted at the 2025 Toronto Film Festival. Jamie appeared in a simple black suit, no red carpet, no noise. He only said a short sentence before the film screened, "Sometimes to be heard, you have to be quiet for a long time." The film combines classic noir cinema with modern technology, inspired by the philosophy of identity and illusion. Critics called it a cross between Blade Runner and Fight Club, but with a Northern Irish soul. .12 Little known behind the scenes. After the premiere, some members of the film crew revealed strange stories. Jamie never allowed the camera to cut scenes in the order of the script. He completely mixed them up, so that the actors never knew where they were emotionally. One night, he took the whole crew out to the beach in the snow and wind, forcing them to be silent for 10 minutes to hear what the real world was like. One supporting actor said, "He made me cry for real, not because of the acting, but because it was the first time I saw myself through the lens." It sounds crazy, but the result is a hauntingly realistic film.